Hello, this is Tech Happy Life with Dr. Mike Brooks. In today's episode, we're going to look at the second level of the Tech Happy Life model. In last episode, we looked at the foundation of the model. The first level, it's about building the relationship. Now we're on to the second level of the model, which is the green light level or the preventative level. So as you recall last time, the Tech Happy Life model consists of 4 levels. We have at the base the relationship. It's about building the relationship. And then we have, this week's episode is the green light or preventative level. And then we have the yellow light level is to address emerging problems. And then at the top of the pyramid, we have the red light level, which is about intervening when severe problems emerge. So as one of the strategies at the green light or preventative level is to plug our kids into other activities. Almost anything that gets them sinking their teeth into another engaging, need-satisfying activity. And the real benefit here is they're enjoying the activity for one, but it naturally displaces the screen time. You don't have to fight that fight. When you're plugging kids into an activity, here's a sub-strategy, is to seek their input. If you're dictating to them what they should be engaged in, that can cause other problems as you, the parent, are controlling what they do. So this doesn't mean our kids get to tell us exactly what they want to be involved in. There's reasonable limits we have to set, but it's good to engage them in the conversation and listen to their input, because if we're able to plug them into an activity of their choosing, they're more likely to follow through with it. Another good preventative strategy is to limit our children's access to technologies until they're developmentally appropriate. So that means when our 8-year-old is asking for a smartphone or a Snapchat account, the answer is no. It's not appropriate for their developmental level. We may not want to be an early adopter. At the same time, we may not want to be the very last to give our child access to certain technologies like a smartphone. If all of their friends have a smartphone in middle school, and that's developmentally appropriate, that seems to be about the age kids are getting it, and you wait until 10th grade, that's going to cause a lot of friction. So you want to be not an early adopter, but not the very last, somewhere in the middle. Related to this point of not being an early adopter is to steer our kids away from technologies that are known to be addictive, and this can apply a lot to games in particular. Some games are so immersive and time-consuming, and you'll hear them even referred to as addictive games. You might want to consider steering your child away from such a game. For instance, in World of Warcraft, at one point I'd read an article that said the average player plays 23 hours a week, the average player. And if I were growing up as a teenager now, a game like World of Warcraft would have its hooks in me so bad I would probably never want to leave my room. So you may want to consider which technologies and which games you're letting your child get involved in, because once it gets the hooks in, it's hard to pull it away from them. I'm stealing a little bit from the movie War Games, where the tagline is, "The only winning move is not to play." A very beloved movie, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. But the idea is to limit access to technologies at certain times and in certain places, because you don't want to fight that fight. That's not the battle to have. It's don't have the fight to begin with by eliminating access. This is a really big point, and I cannot emphasize it enough. When I present on this topic, I've had people come back to me later on to say this was the most important strategy that helped them out. And it is this: turn off all chimes, ringers, push notifications that you can. A buzzing phone is going to take our attention away from the people we're with or whatever activity we're involved into and automatically turn it to the phone. Now, we may not answer the phone, but our attention is still turned toward the phone. And the reason is this: 10,000 years ago, when we were at a watering hole on the savannah, if a twig broke behind us and we did not turn our heads to look, we could be eaten by a lion. So we are hardwired to respond to any noises and vibrations and things like that. We simply cannot help it. So we don't want to fight that fight. Just say no to push notifications. Technology should not be allowed at meals. If you think about it, meals are sacred. They go back, historically, breaking bread is communal. It binds us together. And having technologies present at meals separates us. So we want to eliminate technology from meals. And I'm talking at home at the dinner table, when you go out to eat, not giving kids iPads while you go out to eat, not letting them sit and watch a movie at dinner or anything like that, is we want to use that time to connect with each other. Another one is before school, is to not allow your child to access technology before school. Now I realize as they become teens, this becomes a different ball of wax, but while you can, when they're younger, is not allow our kids to access technologies in the morning before school. We want them to get prepared for school, their mindset on school, and it's also difficult for kids to transition from the screen to school and staying focused, listening to the teacher, doing their work when they were just engaged with some fun, stimulating game. Bathrooms is another area to limit access to technologies. This should apply to everyone in the household. There are all sorts of reasons to limit access to technologies in the bathroom. Many have to do with hygiene. But I want to say teen boys in the bathroom with smartphones, not the best combination. So let's just not allow this. Keep it off grounds. Another area that cell phone use should be eliminated is in the car while driving. This applies to you as a parent, but also your teen driver. Even Bluetooth phone calls, there is solid research to indicate that causes distracted driving. So even hands-free, our attention is partially on the conversation we're having, and that causes an increase in accident rates. Here's some great news. There is a feature built into the iOS 11 if you have an iPhone. I'm sure there's a similar feature on Android phones, but it's do not disturb while driving. I cannot emphasize this enough. Enable that feature of your phone. Anyone calling or texting while you're driving, when that's enabled, will get an automated message that says you're driving and you'll get back with them after you're done. And you can tailor this message any way you want. So I highly encourage you. It's eliminating the temptation to answer the phone. And again, even when the phone buzzes, it takes our attention away. So this way, if you have the do not disturb while driving feature enabled, it won't be a problem to begin with. I've gone over a lot of strategies, and I know this is a whole lot of information to digest. The good thing is, it's all covered in my book and more, and that book is Tech Generation: Raising Balanced Kids in a Hyper-Connected World, and it comes out August 1st, but is available by pre-order right now. This has been Tech Happy Life with Dr. Mike Brooks. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope you join me next week, and we're going to cover the third level of the Tech Happy Life model, which is the yellow light level. Hope to see you then.